Some names don't just belong to people, they become symbols. Michael Jordan isn't merely a name on a birth certificate anymore. It's a synonym for greatness, for dominance, for what happens when talent is fused with obsession. Jordan wasn't just an athlete, he was a force, a movement, a myth. He didn't just change how the game was played. He changed the way we see the game, the way we talk about competition, the way we define excellence. His journey wasn't smooth, but it was relentless. To study Michael Jordan is to study what happens when ambition refuses to blink. Born on February 17, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York, and raised in Wilmington, North Carolina, Michael Jeffrey Jordan's early years were shaped by the structure and stability of a strong family. His father, James Jordan, worked with General Electric. His mother, Dolores, was a bank teller and the moral compass of the family. Jordan grew up in a household that instilled values of discipline, faith, and hard work. But even as a child, there was something in him that couldn't settle. He was naturally competitive, always trying to beat his older brother Larry in backyard battles that would last until dark. Those games weren't just about basketball, they were about identity. And more than once, Michael left the court in tears, beaten but not broken. That resilience would be tested as a sophomore at Laney High School, where he was famously cut from the varsity team. Most kids would have folded under the embarrassment. Jordan used it as rocket fuel. He made a silent promise to himself. This would never happen again. He practiced obsessively, sometimes 3 times a day. He would work on his shot in the rain, run sprints at dawn, and refine his fundamentals long after others had gone home. That cut, that rejection, lit a fire that would burn through every challenge he would face for the rest of his life. By the time Jordan arrived at the University of North Carolina, he was already a rising star. But under coach Dean Smith, he learned humility, structure, and team play. It was in 1982, as a freshman, that he drilled the game-winning jumper in the NCAA championship game against Georgetown, a moment that would serve as a national introduction to a new kind of clutch performer. Jordan would later say that shot was the birth of his belief. That singular moment when he realized he could be more than just good. He could be the best. The 1984 NBA draft brought him to the Chicago Bulls, who selected him 3rd overall behind Hakeem Olajuwon and Sam Bowie. The Bulls, at the time, were a struggling franchise, more an afterthought than a contender. They had no identity, no swagger, no hope. But with Jordan came a tidal wave of change. In his rookie season, he averaged 28.2 points per game and won Rookie of the Year honors. More importantly, he transformed the culture. Stadiums that were once half-empty were now packed to see Air Jordan. He wasn't just a basketball player. He was a show, an experience, a spectacle. But while Jordan's individual brilliance was unquestioned, his team struggled in the postseason. 4 years, the Bulls were bounced out of the playoffs, often by the bruising, unforgiving Detroit Pistons, known as the Bad Boys. Those losses weren't just defeats, they were lessons. Jordan, true to form, didn't complain. He got stronger. He added 15 pounds of muscle. He honed his post-game. He became a better passer, a sharper defender, and a more complete leader. He endured punishing fouls, cheap shots, and playoff heartbreak, but he never allowed frustration to turn into surrender. He kept coming, each year more dangerous than the last. Then came 1991. The Bulls finally dethroned the Pistons and made it to the NBA Finals, facing Magic Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers. It was more than a championship, it was a generational handoff. Jordan dazzled, averaging over 30 points per game and delivering one of the most iconic plays in finals history. A mid-air, hand-switching layup that left defenders flat-footed and fans in awe. Chicago won in 5. In the locker room, Jordan wept as he held the trophy with his father beside him. It was a moment of arrival, of redemption, of destiny fulfilled. But greatness doesn't stop at one ring. Jordan led the Bulls to a three-peat, winning titles in 1992 and 1993 as well. Each season, he dominated with a unique blend of athleticism, intensity, and willpower. He won scoring titles, MVPs, and defensive accolades, all while carrying the expectations of a global fanbase on his back. By the age of 30, he was at the height of his powers, and then everything changed. In July 1993, James Jordan was murdered during a robbery. The news shook Jordan to his core. The man who had been by his side every step of his journey was gone. The pain was suffocating. A few months later, in a stunning decision, Michael Jordan retired from basketball. He cited a loss of desire, a loss of motivation. But those close to him knew it was more. The game no longer felt like home without his father watching. Jordan then turned to baseball, a sport his father had once dreamed he'd play professionally. He joined the Birmingham Barons, a minor league affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. While his numbers were modest, the commitment was real. He trained every day. He rode buses with teammates. He earned their respect not by reputation, but by effort. It wasn't a marketing gimmick, it was a man searching for healing through the familiar structure of sport. In March 1995, after 17 months away from the game, Jordan returned to the NBA. He issued a simple press release, "I'm back." Those two words sent shockwaves through the sports world. His return wasn't perfect. He wore number 45 at first, and the Bulls were eliminated in the playoffs. But the fire was back. In the off-season, Jordan trained like a man possessed. By the next year, he was again the most unstoppable force in the game. The 1995-96 Bulls finished with a 72-10 record, the best in NBA history at the time. Jordan was named MVP and led the Bulls to their fourth title. They would go on to win again in 1997 and 1998, completing a second three-peat and cementing the Bulls' dynasty. The 1998 Finals against the Utah Jazz would be Jordan's grand finale, or so we thought. In Game 6, with the Bulls trailing by 1, Jordan stole the ball from Karl Malone, dribbled up the floor, crossed over Brian Russell, and hit a jumper that froze time. That shot, nothing but net, would be his last as a Bull, and arguably the most iconic in basketball history. Jordan retired again in January 1999, but the itch never fully left. In 2001, he returned for a final stint with the Washington Wizards. Though older and slower, his mind was still elite. He had games of 40 and 50 points, mentored younger players, and showed flashes of vintage brilliance. He finally walked away for good in 2003. Jordan's career totals are staggering: 6 NBA championships, 6 Finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 14 All-Star selections, 9 All-Defensive First Teams, and over 32,000 career points. But numbers alone can't explain Jordan's impact. He didn't just win, he redefined what winning looked like. His hunger, his hatred of losing, his ability to rise in the biggest moments, these became the standard. He turned competition into art. He made intensity fashionable. He made winning personal. Off the court, Jordan became a global icon. The Air Jordan brand became a cultural empire. His sneakers became currency among youth across continents. He inspired a generation of athletes, from Kobe Bryant to LeBron James, who modeled their game after his. He also became a billionaire businessman and the first former player to own an NBA franchise, the Charlotte Hornets. And then came The Last Dance, the 2020 docuseries that peeled back the curtain on Jordan's final season with the Bulls. It revealed the obsession, the pressure, the grudges, and the grace. It reintroduced a legend to a new generation and reminded the older ones why they fell in love with basketball in the first place. Michael Jordan didn't just play basketball. He elevated it. He embodied the idea that greatness isn't given, it's taken. It's earned in sweat, built on heartbreak, sharpened through sacrifice. He was never satisfied. He always wanted more. That hunger, that ferocity, that refusal to lose, that's what made him who he was. He wasn't perfect. He could be abrasive, demanding, even cold. But that's the cost of obsession. He didn't want to be liked. He wanted to be great. And he was. He is. And likely, he always will be. Because when the story of basketball is told, when names are listed and legends are honored, one name will always rise above the rest. Michael Jordan. The man who made us believe we could fly. Thank you for walking this legendary road with us. The story of Michael Jordan. The competitor, the champion, the man who made the impossible feel routine.